Hi everyone, Gabe here from The Wire. Apologies that the update from yesterday took so long to post. My family and I are vacationing in southern Italy right now, and it's a beautiful place and a wonderful place, but not the most technologically advanced place. So we had some trouble uploading the video that we shot yesterday afternoon. But I was happy to see it finally posted this morning, at least this morning in the United States. So we'll try to make sure that this one gets out to you in a more timely manner. Want to give you a brief update on developments taking place today. There are developments on several fronts. First of all, it appears that the ground offensive into Gaza is imminent from several viewpoints. First of all, we see Israeli soldiers staged and massed and ready to go on the Gaza border. Additional reservists have been called up to prepare for the offensive. There was 350,000 called up the other day. Now the number is closer to 400,000 reservists, which is, the Israeli army's reserves is about 450,000. So they've called up almost their entire reserve force, both to respond to potential threats along the northern border and in the West Bank, but primarily to lead the offensive into Gaza. We also saw today that American Special Forces from SEAL Team 6 and Delta Force will be accompanying the IDF into Gaza. We're assuming that that is to assist them with hostage rescue operations. It's logical is to assume that that'll be the first prong of the offensive, will be to rescue hostages, if possible, from the areas where the IDF has located them. So we can expect to see attempts at that. In the meantime, Hamas is continuing to use the hostages as a bargaining chip, threatening to release videos of them being tortured and murdered, threatening to release videos of them begging for their lives. So much so that the Israeli authorities have recommended to Israeli citizens that they remove apps like TikTok and Telegram from their children's cell phones so that they aren't traumatized by such videos. So far, I haven't seen any evidence of those videos being released, but the threats are there, and obviously that is something that Hamas could do if their backs are against the wall. So that is absolutely a prayer point for all of us today. Is that the Lord would protect and put his hedge of protection around those 150 or so Israelis and foreign nationals that are currently being held in Gaza. Right now, it's believed, I think I saw something like 20 American nationals, there was 10 Italian nationals, so people from countries around the world being held in Gaza right now. Other than that, there was some additional escalation on the northern front today. Hezbollah responded to the Israeli thwarting of an infiltration attempt a couple days ago, where they killed several Hezbollah fighters that were attempting to infiltrate into Israel. They responded to that today with anti-tank fire into an Israeli base that appears to have killed and or wounded several Israeli military personnel. It's unknown at this time how many casualties there are. But that was, of course, an escalation now that Israeli soldiers are being wounded and or killed on the northern frontier. So the Israeli military responded with artillery fire and airstrikes, drone strikes against Hezbollah positions in southern Lebanon. There was some rocket sirens in northern Israel around the border. Later, the IDF said those were false alarms. There was no actual rocket fire, as far as we can tell at this point, into Israel. And really, at this point, almost all of the Israeli communities and Lebanese communities along the border are completely evacuated. There are very few civilians left in those areas, just because everyone is anticipating some kind of broader conflict along the northern frontier. So not wanting to see a repeat of what happened around the Gaza envelope. Lots of Israeli citizens have already left their communities, including residents of Metula, which is the northernmost community in Israel, in the Finger of the Galilee, surrounded on three sides by Lebanon. That has kind of been a flashpoint for Hezbollah and other Palestinian militants in Lebanon. That is now evacuated. There's also reports that UN observers, the UNIFIL deployment in southern Lebanon, has evacuated their posts. I haven't been able to confirm that, but I have seen that from a few sources. Hezbollah is denying that they ordered that to take place, but it's possible that the UN ordered their people out. So things are definitely still tense, but not quite broken loose into a full-blown conflagration along the northern front yet. Along what we could call the eastern front, the Green Line, the West Bank, we're definitely seeing increased militant activity. There was been 24 engagements minimum between IDF personnel and Palestinian militants in the West Bank. The Wire's been talking a lot lately about the growth of Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad in the West Bank. They are no doubt stoking their local franchises, if we can call them that, to violence. There was a shooting at a checkpoint in East Jerusalem today. There's been several other incidents along border areas between the West Bank and Israel proper in the last few days. So again, nothing that signals a full-blown conflict at this point along the West Bank, but definitely simmering tension there, and something that another front that Israel has to defend at this time. So at this point, we're waiting to see what happens when the IDF goes into Gaza. Hamas is doing what they can to continue to wreak havoc on the Gaza front. There was an attempted attack by several Gaza militants in Zakim, which is a kibbutz just north of Gaza along the coast. There was a barrage of rocket fire going into Ashkelon and Ashdod, which are two communities north of the Gaza Strip, going towards Tel Aviv. So the rocket fire continues. The attempted infiltrations from Gaza continue, but the IDF at this point is massed in that area and extremely vigilant and doing what they can to minimize casualties. So it's still a little bit of a wait and see today. We can expect probably within the next 24 to 48 hours to see things really begin to escalate in Gaza. The airstrikes were definitely intense last night in Gaza, so we can expect to see something happening on the ground there very, very soon. Exactly what that will be and how it will take shape is not yet seen. So your prayers are appreciated. Please prayerfully consider contributing to FAI's efforts to bring relief to Israeli communities in the north. You can do that by going to fai.online/donate, and there's a button at the top of the page for giving to Israeli initiatives. This is the time to do that. Now is the time to stand with the Jewish people, with all of the anti-Semitism that we see happening around the world. New York, Sydney, Paris, London, we see it happening all over the place. Now is the time for the people, the Gentiles of the covenant, the grafted in wild olive shoots, to stand with the natural branches. So this is your opportunity to do so by giving, and FAI.online/donate is one way that you can do that. So as always, we love you all. Thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Maranatha.